Hey, Todd Burrier from toddburrier.com. Do you ever struggle with impatience? Do you ever feel like quitting because you're not getting where you're trying to go fast enough? You know, this is a big issue, especially for people, who are trying to build a home business. And, you're working at your job, you've got your life going on, and you're dedicating energy to this thing on the side that, your side gig, which most people should have one. And you struggle with the idea that it's not happening fast enough, right? And I call this the challenge with instant gratification disease, right? We live in an instant gratification culture where we're constantly bombarded with things that we can have now. We can fix our problems overnight. We can succeed overnight. We can lose all the weight overnight. When really in our heart, we know that that's not true. But that doesn't mean we're not tempted because, hey, that's our nature, right? Our nature is to want to fix it now. But that's not how things of value really happen. Things of value take time. Things of meaning take time. I love to fish. And when you take a little kid fishing for the first time, what do? Do you take them fishing out for a big fish where you might spend all day and only get a bite? No. Why? Because little kids want it now. They want to have it now. They want to do the thing now. That's why they can't sleep on Christmas night, right? The Christmas Eve, because they're like, oh, I want it now. And so what you do with a little kid is you take them to a pond, right? You take them to an area where there's lots of little fish, and you put a little worm on there and you drop it in, and they instantly get bites, so they fall in love with fishing, right? I mean, because they're catching fish. Well, we have to grow up a little bit, right? And recognize that, we might not be patient by nature. We're not patient. We're never going to be patient, by the way. That's just the way we're wired. But we can learn to be impatiently patient, right? We can understand we're impatient and then be patient about that, right? That's a mind hack. But this will help you a little bit overcome that instant gratification issue. And I'm going to give you 4 little strategies right here that will really, really help you in building whatever side thing that you're doing, or you might apply it to the main thing that you're doing if you're struggling with the idea of not getting where you want to go fast enough. And so number 1 is think about the cost in the past from falling for the instant gratification thing, right? Because I can guarantee you that every time you did, just like me, every time I did, that didn't work out. And what ended up happening is I just continuously delayed being able to apply myself consistently to the thing that I really wanted to accomplish, right? And so you have to like use those experiences from the past as guideposts and say, okay, that's proof, right? I don't need any more than that, right? I got to get past the emotion, right? Because we are driven emotionally, and then we justify through logic. That's how we're wired. And so look at the cost in the past from pursuing things for instant success, because they didn't happen. They didn't happen. The second thing is focus on the process, not the result. Whatever it is that you're doing, there's a process of steps that ultimately will lead to success. I don't care what it is. I'm applying this message to building a home business right now, but it could be applicable to anything from getting fit and losing weight to writing a book, whatever that is. It's a process of steps that you take over and over and over and over. And if you focus on just taking the steps, focus on the process, the results will come over time. Sometimes they start to happen a little faster. Sometimes you have desert periods where it seems like nothing is happening, but they happen. So focus on the process is number 2. Number 3 is tell your story daily. And I'm not talking about telling your story from the perspective of, what you've accomplished. Tell your story about why you're doing it, right? Why you're doing it, because that's always there. That's what caused you to take the step in the first place. And when you tell your story, right, especially for building a home business, that is part of what attracts someone, because someone sees, oh, I can accomplish something, I can reach a goal because you did, right? Because you went after getting over this thing you were trying to solve, because that's ultimately what it is, right? We we try to solve problems. That's what leads us to do things, right? And a problem doesn't have to be negative. It might be a desire, but if we haven't accomplished it yet, then by definition, it's a problem. Or most of the time, though, we're driven because it's a problem. And so if you tell your story daily, not only are you giving other people an opportunity to go, oh, this might be for me too, but you're hearing it. You're reminding yourself why you're doing it, right? You're steeping yourself in the why of the process, and that's so important. And then the fourth thing is celebrate each little impact, each little success. That will make a huge difference for you, because when you celebrate those little successes, that's how you get to the big goal, right? Even when you set gigantic goals, right, which most people don't, because that's self-defeating. But if you set a big goal, you've got to chunk it all the way back to little tiny goals along the way. And then you got to celebrate. But really, you should be celebrating taking the step. That's a positive. That's a win. And so if you keep those in mind, it will help you defeat the instant gratification problem that is all around you. And you're being reminded of it constantly, right? It's all over social media. It's all over the television. It's all over everything. And you have to be conscious that you got to block that noise and stick to it. So 1, remember the cost from the past. 2, focus on the process. 3, tell your story daily. And 4, celebrate each little impact. I hope that was helpful for you. Feel free to share that with someone else. There's probably lots of people around you that are struggling with the same thing, right? They're trying to accomplish something, and then the lure of instant gratification derails them, and then they look up in 2 years, they're still in the same spot that they were. So hope this was helpful. Make sure you check out toddburrier.com and get your free download for how to overcome the 4 barriers to success that will help you greatly in moving forward through the thing you're trying to accomplish. Take care. See you next time.